Hi everyone, as you know my name is Isabelle. I am 18 years old, I'm in 6th year, so I got a day off school for this, so I'm very excited. Today I am going to talk to you guys about mental health and mental health awareness. That's what we're all here for. But I'm also going to talk to you guys about the stigma regarding mental health. I'm a bit nervous, so bear with me. But basically, did you know that 1 in 4 young people will suffer from a mental health difficulty such as anxiety, depression, OCD, psychosis? We all saw them up on the board and there's countless of them. So 1 in 4 people in this room are struggling with a mental health difficulty. That's just so big, that's so much to fathom. But why I'm kind of standing up here is to share my story, and hopefully with my story raise awareness that maybe one of your friends could be going through something, maybe you could be going through something, and maybe with my story you can learn where I kind of went wrong and where there can be a change. So my story begins with everyone else's story, and it starts in primary school, whereas Evan said it was hard. I did well. I always won those awards for getting like the best attendance in primary school. I don't know if you guys did that either, but yeah, I was very proud of those. And I did well. I was very confident, I was very social, made a lot of friends. And then, like any other teenager, I made the transition from primary school to secondary school. And like every other teenager knows, it is nerve-wracking, it is exciting, you don't know if you're going to fit in, you don't know if you're going to make friends. You want to be popular, you want to fit in, but because you're 12, 13, you don't really know how to at that time. And when that time was happening for me, my family dynamic was crumbling around me. And I went into secondary school with a broken family, a broken home, and with the best ambitions in the world to do well and to do well for myself and do well for my family. So anyway, I go into secondary school and I thrive. I get good grades, I make good friends, I keep up a good social media status, got a few hundred followers on Instagram, I'm doing well for myself, and it's kind of scary to think that that's what I based my self-worth on at that time. I then reached a point where I was putting so much pressure on myself to do academically well, to be really popular, to have a lot of Instagram followers, to have, like, it's crazy. And I know a lot of you guys in this room understand where I'm coming from when you know that you have to act and look and be a certain way to fit in. And I put so much pressure on myself, I started to feel down on myself, stuff at home started coming into my daily life, whereas I would have this persona, I would wear this mask of being absolutely okay, everything was fine. I was the one in class always making jokes, I was the one in class always speaking out, being cheeky. We all have one of those in our class, yeah, I know that's me. But yeah, so everyone and everything kind of seemed okay, but I knew myself that I wasn't okay. I had this feeling of emptiness, and that's the only way I can describe it. It was scary because I didn't know at that time that a young person could suffer with a mental health difficulty, whereas now it's becoming made aware within schools that a young person can struggle with a mental health difficulty, whereas for me at that time I didn't know. I thought just depression was this thing that men get, and I didn't understand that me, a 13, 14-year-old girl in first and second year, can go through depression. Anyway, so my feeling of emptiness grew, and I began to self-harm, to take away kind of the pain that I was feeling externally. I kind of just wanted to feel something different. I needed to cope, I needed to escape. And for me, my only way of doing that, because I was never made aware of positive coping strategies, was to self-harm. Now, without getting into too much detail, I then struggled with my mental health for a few years after, still struggling, but I'm getting there. And suicidal thoughts came into my head, and I realized that they were the only thoughts that I could concentrate on. And eventually, yes, I sought help, and well, help sought me really. I didn't seek the help, and yeah, again, without getting into too much detail, I had a couple suicide attempts. I would self-harm a lot, and I ended up in hospital for months at a time. Now, there is a reason why I'm standing up here, and it's not for the good of my health. It is because I need to make it clear to every single person in this room that anyone can be struggling with a mental health difficulty, that any single one of you can be struggling and you might not know. The person beside you, a teacher, could be struggling with it. You don't know. And what I'm doing here now today is to say, yes, you are struggling, that's okay. And we've heard it countless times today, and we're going to hear it countless times more, but it doesn't matter. It's okay not to feel okay, and it's absolutely okay to ask for help. Now, with that comes kindness, and this is where I kind of get a bit emotional, because I feel that a simple act of kindness could simply save a life. A simple act of kindness could simply save a life. Now just think about that for a second. That there's always kids in your school, it's in every school, who are sitting on their own for lunch, or who are not the same as other people, or be classified as weird. Now, we all know those kids, and we all say we'll acknowledge them when we'll do this, but most of the time, and in our school and in this day and age, we're not. I know for a fact in my school that that's not happening. Those kids are sitting on their own, and God knows, guys, you don't know if that night they're going to go home and take their life. So how hard is it for you to go over and say, hey, come sit with us for lunch? How hard is that? Because you've acknowledged them, you know that they are here, and then they will think that they're enough. Okay? Include them. Say if you see a friend that isolated, ask them if they're okay. Ask them if there's anything they can do. Ask them that, and tell them that there is support for you. I am living proof, guys, that things get better. I'm living proof. I'm standing right here. I should be dead. I should be dead, but there is a reason why I'm standing here, and there's a reason for every single one of you people in this room, and that is to be here, to be loved, to be wanted, and to live your best life. So be kind, and I promise you that things get better, and if you are struggling, seek support, because that's the first step into getting on your road of recovery and to getting better. So again, it's okay not to feel okay, guys, and it's absolutely okay to ask for help. Thank you.